He doesn't see any of that because he hasn't been around long enough to see that Democrats have been pushing this green energy crap for a very long time. It's kind of funny that way, isn't it? Yeah. All right, let's give some more audio. Oh, Kevin O'Leary. Mr. Wonderful. Did you see him in Marty Supreme? He deserved a Best Supporting Actor nominee. I thought he did a great job. But Kevin O'Leary, who's a major player in financial circles, he's one of the few people that, Jim Cramer, complete moron. Don't listen to Jim Cramer. I don't even know what's wrong with. I don't even know where did he get his degree? He knows nothing. Here's Kevin O'Leary talking about gas prices, and guess what? They're already heading down.
We've got about 45 days worth of oil floating on the water right now. In order to really have a very difficult situation stateside, you'd need 90 days at above $90.
Yeah.
We're only 1 month.
Yeah.
And so
we're 1 month into it, not even 4 weeks yet.
The minute Hormuz is open, oil prices will drop.
And the Hormuz is open, by the way.
To mid-70s, as they were prior to the conflict. The market will adjust immediately. It'll take about 2 weeks at the pump for it to drop.
Yeah.
And that's what the market thinks is going to happen.
Yeah. You know why? Because the present from Iran that Iran was giving Donald Trump was safe tanker passage through the Straits of Hormuz. Iran agreed to allow a number of fuel tankers that weren't tied to the U.S. or Israel through the Straits of Hormuz in order to help calm global markets. The report added, citing an unnamed Arab official. So the Straits of Hormuz are open, and guess what? Gas prices are already down. So there goes the next thing for Democrats to claim that they're going to beat Republicans in the midterms.
It's the first time in 60 years you've heard Bahrain, UAE, Saudi Arabia, Qatar all sing from the same song sheet.
Yeah, all of those Middle Eastern countries are behind the United States and Israel now,
saying status quo doesn't work.
Yeah.
That's really good for everybody because that's a lot more trade into Asia. That's the hub. Yeah. UAE is the hub of trade for that whole region. That'll be a great outcome for investors like me. Hormuz will be open in perpetuity. We've got 22 nations.
Yeah, they're never going to have any problems again with Iran dead.
It's talking about support
freedom in Iran.
Supporting that financially. That's just like the Suez or Panama Canal. Great for the region. It's a game changer in the sense that all of a sudden you have stability in the fastest growing part of the earth. It's very, very bullish for world markets.
There you go. So thank you, Kevin O'Leary, so much for your talking point there. Midas touch. Is that hold on, that's got to be your Tinder handle. That has got to be his Tinder handle. You know, that's what some young guy would put on. Some young guy would put on their Tinder profile. I'm a Midas touch. Midas touch. He uses the name. His parents call him Midas touch. I mean, honestly, because that sounds like a brother's name. I mean, it does kind of like Midas Touch. That sounds like a name of a rapper, right? Wouldn't it be like Midas Touch and T-Bone over here? You know, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Ice-T, Ice Cube, Midas Touch. But he's a white guy, 23 years old. He calls himself Midas Touch. Midas Touch. Oh, my God. Oh, I don't think anything has touched him before. Trump also said that U.S. intercepted all Iranian missiles in a recent attack. So not only are their missiles greatly depleted, now they're worthless. Their missiles are worthless. They have misselectile dysfunction. Donald Trump said American forces successfully intercepted 100 Iranian missiles aimed at a key target, adding no missile reached its objective, praising the strength of U.S. military capabilities. To give you an idea of the effectiveness of our defense, 100 tries, no successes. This is actually better than my Match.com profile success rate. That's how good it is. I mean, I'm serious. I'm like a 105-0 right now. The missiles have not struck. I'll just put it that way. Donald Trump says we knocked out their Navy. We knocked out everything. It's amazing. We have the greatest military. We make the greatest military equipment. I need to learn how to do a Trump impression because it would sound much better if I did it as Trump. 100 missiles going 2,000 miles an hour. I can't do it. We're coming at this element of importance, tremendous power and importance. And of the 100 missiles coming at us, 100 missiles were immediately shot down, just like Rob Carson on Match.com. He actually added that at the very end. Maybe I need to change my name to Midas Touch. I don't even know. No, it won't help. It won't help. As soon as they see the profile pic and they read the profile, the missile's going to get shot down. All right, so we got a lot of stuff on the show today, including Caroline Levitt. Oh, my goodness, Caroline Levitt just owned it yesterday at the podium. We've got special guests on the radio program, new comedy from Jim Gossett as well. This is The Rob Carson Show.
Stupid Khomeini's son was not his number one. He thought Mojtaba was quite dumb, not to mention a bum. Did not want him to lead, say he can't even read. Mojtaba's IQ is quite low. The Ayatollah thought his boy was not very smart. He wanted to tell him but did not have the heart. Wouldn't have promoted him anyway because he is gay. Dancing with other men, prancing around the den, humiliating to his pop. He wanted him to stop, flaming as he can be, shaming dad's legacy. Mojtaba didn't seem to care. Stupid Khomeini's son was not his number one. He thought Mojtaba was quite dumb, not to mention a bum. Did not want him to lead, say he can't even read. Mojtaba's IQ is quite low. The Ayatollah thought his boy was not very smart. He wanted to tell him but did not have the heart. Wouldn't have promoted him anyway because he is gay. Dancing with other men, prancing around the den, humiliating to his pop. He wanted him to stop, flaming as he can be, shaming dad's legacy. Mojtaba didn't seem to care. Stupid Khomeini's son was not his number one. He thought Mojtaba was quite dumb, not to mention a bum. Did not want him to lead, say he can't even read. Mojtaba's IQ is quite low. The Ayatollah thought his boy was not very smart. He wanted to tell him but did not have the heart. Wouldn't have promoted him anyway because he is gay. Dancing with other men, prancing around the den, humiliating to his pop. He wanted him to stop, flaming as he can be, shaming dad's legacy. Mojtaba didn't seem to care. Stupid Khomeini's son was not his number one. He thought Mojtaba was quite dumb, not to mention a bum. Did not want him to lead.
The Rob Carson Show podcast is everywhere. Go to newsmax.com/listen for details.
It's opening day, by the way. I'm kind of excited about it. I didn't see a lot of baseball games when I was in Kansas City. I didn't see. Well, I used to go to Orioles ballpark, which, by the way, they did not pass that ordinance to put tampon machines in the men's rooms at Orioles ballpark or Ravens ballpark because men would rightfully tear them off the walls and throw them in the garbage because. What the hell are you thinking? That said, I used to go to the Orioles park when the Inner Harbor was still alive. The Democrat Party and the Democrat City Council and Mayor destroyed it. It's dead now. It's completely dead. But, we got Nationals ballpark over here. It's pretty cool, actually. My nephew lives right next to it. He actually loves baseball so much that he volunteered as a groundskeeper so he could be there on the field. So he's got this job. I don't know, he's a lobbyist or whatever. And then he would volunteer and go down and roll out the tarp and, do the sweeping and all that stuff. And it was pretty amazing. So, but it's a great place to see baseball. I've seen great baseball in Cincinnati, Minnesota, not so much because it was in the Metrodome way back when, and all of that. But opening day is a lot of fun. Here are some of the most popular food items in Major League Baseball this year. I want you to think about this versus, I don't know, maybe when your dad took you to a baseball game when you were a kid and you got a hot dog and a Coke and dad had a beer, all right, or a pretzel. There's a thing called a pretzel. It's a soft pretzel. You dipped it in cheese or mustard. Okay, ready? Here are, according to CNN Sports, the best things you'll find at Major League Baseball games this year. And I have nothing against good food. Don't get me wrong. I'm a gourmet cook, man. I could start at a restaurant on the line. I know how to cook, baby. Here we go. Los Angeles Dodgers Cochinchita Pillbill bone marrow tacos. Hot dog, beer, Coke. Okay, that's cool. Whatever. Cochinita Pillbill layered over rich roasted bone marrow. Topped with pickled red onions and fresh cilantro. I mean, it sounds delicious. I don't know what the hell Conchita Pillbill is. I have no clue. No clue. I'm a gourmet cook. It's $35. It's $35. Arizona Diamondbacks, take me out to the ball game shake. This sounds good. Salty caramel milkshake piled with whipped cream, peanut butter, sandwich cookies, Kit Carb bars, hefty portion of a Cracker Jack on top of there, $17. Right here at Washington Nationals, they got this thing called the Capitol Slugger. It's a half-smoked sausage topped with chili, crispy fried jalapenos, golden fried onions, served with warm cheese for dipping. It's $18. It's $18. I think what I'd do is like when I was a little kid and we go to the drive-thru, my dad who left me would bring a big bag of popcorn, put it in the trunk, and then we just sneak it in. We do the same thing with in movie theaters. Chicago Cubs chicken and churros. It's kind of a take on chicken and waffles. And the Miami Marlins a machete. Wow, that's not so good. 2 flour tortilla brushed with smoky guajillo pepper sauce, grilled with mozzarella cheese. Quaxaca cheese. It's that crumbly kind of like Mexican feta packed with carne asada onions. Oh my God, just give me a hot dog. And how much is that? Oh, okay. It's only going to cost you $26. How many kids we got? Yeah, we're all going to have one machete. So enjoy it. One bite of the Conchita Ferrero or whatever the hell that was is what you're going to get. So, wow. I'm more excited about spring than baseball. I'm just excited about getting out, and I'll probably go over and make it to a ball game or two. We will see. The Operation Epic Fury was immediately called a failure by Chris Murphy and other Democrats. It's shameful how they behaved this time, but our military has done such an amazing thing. It's hard to put in perspective what they've been able to accomplish. Here is Josh Hawley, senator from Missouri.
Joe Biden's instincts were wrong on everything when it came to the security of this country. Look at the border, an open border, overrun by gangs, criminals, you name it. Look what he did in Ukraine, where he embroiled us in that conflict. No way out, no end in sight. He just left that.
Yeah, what was the goal there?
As for Trump, he left Iran for Trump all across the board. He was a total disaster. It's why he got thrown out. And you see a completely different approach with President Trump. And you talk about our military showing unbelievable, unmatched superiority.
Yeah.
Look what they have done in just 3 weeks' time.
Woo!
It is incredible. That ought to be a warning for anybody who does not take the United States of America seriously.
Yeah, and meanwhile, this is Anthony Blinken, who probably rides side saddle on a bike and drinks soy lattes. Here he is talking about, I wish we could have done something when Barack Obama was the president with Iran, because all we did was send him pallets of cash.
I wish we had gotten there. We worked very hard on getting that longer and stronger agreement.
No, you didn't, you idiot. You sent him a bunch of money.
I'll acknowledge, too, that sometimes politics...
You're Neville Chamberlain times 10, except for like a feminized Neville Chamberlain, if that's possible.
Gets in the way. You have midterm elections. It shouldn't be, but it is too often a factor.
So it got in the way because President Biden didn't want to get into
I think we were looking at the right time to try to get this done.
But you see, Donald Trump said, "Screw the midterms. We are in danger. We need to take Iran out." That's the truth, honestly, and it was pretty ballsy because this president does have balls. Here is Josh Hawley talking about the difference between Joe Biden, President Derpy-Doo, President Poopy Pants versus Donald Trump.
Yeah, his plan was, as ever, to sit around, appease dictators, appease
his pants,
who are threatening the United States, open our borders, try to appease the cartels, get us involved in foreign wars like Ukraine, where he had no plan, no strategy, no idea what he was doing, and then just leave it for somebody else to fix. And I think you see now a president with a very different approach, and you see a United States military, I can't emphasize this enough, Laura, that is doing everything that is being asked of it with flying colors.
And not one compliment from any Democrat in Washington, D.C., at all.
I mean, the president said it the other day. We have destroyed their Navy. We have destroyed their ballistic missile program. We have destroyed their nuclear program. I mean, what is there left if you don't take the United States?
We destroyed their falafel stand. Oh my God, we destroyed everything. And here is Josh Hawley saying, basically, this thing's pretty much over.
Well, I think the president said it the other day. I mean, the victory has been won by all intents and purposes by any measure, any military measure. I mean, it's a question of what terms the Iranians will agree to, and there's no better negotiator than Donald J. Trump. But just from a military perspective, Laura, let's not allow people to cloud the issue here. Their military, their Navy is destroyed.
Toast.
Their ballistic missile program is all but destroyed.
Toast.
Their nuclear program is under rubble. As we speak. That is total and complete domination. So Iran can try to spin this however they want. The truth is that we have shown total and complete dominance. And I just say again to our enemies across the globe, I might want to take note of that.
Yeah, you might want to take note of it because we kicked butt, took names. Most of those names, Mohammed. And right now, our chief rival in the world that has been conducting a war against humanity for 47 years, their leader is made of cardboard. Their leader is made of cardboard, and they have more Navy vessels underwater than they had submarines to start. So there's that. And so I have nothing but love and praise for our military because they did probably the greatest military campaign of total domination and defeat in world history, without a doubt, by the way, without a doubt. And I've got more Caroline Levitt on the way, Mike Johnson on the way. We're going to get into, of course, the DHS shut down by the Democrat Party. And your phone calls at 800-922-6680. Run Through the Jungle CCR closes it out. Don't go anywhere. This fall, you're invited to experience Washington, D.C. in a truly unforgettable way with me, Rob Carson, and other Newsmax listeners. Imagine strolling through our nation's capital as America celebrates 250 years and seeing history come alive with an expert guide. Together, we'll tour the White House Visitor Center, step into the halls of democracy with a guided tour of the U.S. Capitol building, visit Arlington National Cemetery and the changing of the guard, stand in awe before the towering figure of President Abraham Lincoln, and take in the beauty of D.C.'s legendary memorials with a special nighttime illumination tour. Our adventure includes premium hotel accommodations for 4 nights in the heart of D.C., in addition to 6 meals, ground transportation, guides, and gratuities. Space is limited, so don't wait. Visit travelwithrob.net to book your D.C. getaway today, or give our friends at Cruise and Tour a call at 800-383-3131. That's 800-383-3131 or travelwithrob.net. Hey guys, it's Carson. I just got a ghost bed. Yeah, no, pay attention here, because I've been sleeping on a foam mattress since I moved to the Washington, D.C. area, which is like sleeping on the sponge in your sink. Ghost Bed doesn't build mattresses like furniture. They build engineered sleep systems. Their beds are serious health equipment. Beds designed for relief and recovery, not looks, not fluff. Your body should be healing while you sleep, not fighting for comfort. I have been sleeping past 7 in the morning on my Ghost Bed. It's unbelievable. If you wake up stiff, you toss and turn, if you sleep hot, even reaching for a pain reliever before bed, hoping tonight will be different, that's not aging. It's your mattress talking. Another great thing I love about Ghost Bed, you get 101 nights to try it at home. If you don't like the difference, you can send it back risk-free. Ghost Bed is offering my audience their lowest prices of the season, plus an extra 10% off. Go to ghostbed.com/Carson. Use promo code Carson. That's ghostbed.com/Carson. Promo code Carson. You are going to love your new Ghost Bed. It's already Thursday, opening day at many ballparks around America, including Balmer and the Nats. The Nats here. No, it's not the Nats. Nats aren't opening here. They are playing today, but they're not opening today. But Baltimore, they have the opening day. Anyway, it's an exciting time to be in the D.C. area. For many people, it's the trip of a lifetime. And I decided this year when they asked me if I wanted to do a trip with my listeners and viewers where I'd like to go. And they offered me a variety of options. You know, we could go to Iceland. Anything that has ice in it. Not interested. Italy, I would have loved Italy, but whatever. Greece, Germany, Switzerland, Ireland, and Washington, D.C. And I said, let's do Washington, D.C. And sales guy goes, dude, you live in Washington, D.C. And I said, dude, but my listeners don't, and they've dreamed of this, many of them, their entire lives. They've seen pictures of the Washington Monument. They've seen pictures of the Lincoln Memorial. They've seen the changing of the guard on television. Donald Trump laying a wreath, but they've never lived it. And I said, plus it's the 250th anniversary of our country's founding, and Donald Trump is the president, and so it's never going to happen again. And this is serendipitous. It's serendipitous that I'm here. It's serendipitous that you're here. We're saving our country for another 250 years for our children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and whatnot. So we're doing this October the 25th through the 29th, 5 days, 4 nights. Apparently, you guys have been going nuts getting in to try to book this trip, so I would get on it if you can. Here's what we're going to do. Tour the White House Visitor Center. Step in the halls of democracy. Guided tour of the U.S. Capitol building. I know it. They're going to tell you about this little, there are in the concrete, in the lower level of the Capitol, there are kitty cat footprints. They're going to tell you what that's all about. I know it's pretty weird. Visit Arlington National Cemetery and the changing of the guard, which is, will just, wow. Stand in awe before the towering figure of President Abraham Lincoln Memorial, taking the beauty of D.C.'s legendary memorials. Special nighttime illumination tour. Our adventure includes hotel accommodations, 4 nights in the hearts of D.C., addition to 6 meals, ground transportation, guides, and gratuities. Space is limited. Travelwithrob.net. And D.C. is spotless and beautiful. I mean, it's crazy. All of the places. Adams Morgan, Georgetown. Georgetown is no longer a ghost town. It's marvelous. We might drive by National Cathedral. Who the hell knows? Who knows? We might do. We can do it. We drive by the Kennedy Center just to say hi. Take a picture by the new Trump Kennedy Center sign. Just whatever. Do a ding dong dash wherever Chuck Schumer lives. I don't know. So anyway, travelwithrob.net, travelwithrob.net. Do you need the phone number? Well, I'll give you the phone number. 800-383-3131. 800-383-3131. Cruise and Tour is doing this for us. Thank you, Cruise and Tour. You kick butt. But get on this because it's going to sell out. It is going to sell out. It could do it by this week. I don't know. But travelwithrob.net. Travelwithrob.net or 800-383-3131. We've waited a long time for this, haven't we? We waited 10 years to get here. I brought you here when I decided to move here. Okay? I brought you here when I decided to move here. And now you can meet me here. And we're going to have the time of our lives together. Hell yeah. Here's Caroline Levitt yesterday. She's a spitfire. She's amazing. Talking about Operation Epic Fury, which is pretty much over.
Just over 3 weeks in, it's abundantly
Not saying it's all over, but we've crushed their military.
clear that Operation Epic Fury has been a resounding military triumph. More than 9,000 enemy targets have been struck to date. Compared to the start of the operation, Iran's ballistic missile attacks and drone attacks are down by roughly 90%. The United States is also annihilating the Iranian regime's navy. We have destroyed more than 140 of their naval vessels, including almost 50 mine layers. This is the largest elimination of a navy over a 3-week period since World War II. For all of these reasons, we are very close to meeting the core objectives of Operation Epic Fury and this military.
Yeah, because it's been 3 weeks. It'll be 4 weeks on Saturday, and that's frickin' amazing.
Mission continues unabated. From the outset, President Trump and the Department of War estimated it would take approximately 4 to 6 weeks.
4 to 6 weeks. We're not even to 4 weeks yet.
To achieve this critical mission. 25 days in, the greatest military the world has ever known is ahead of schedule and performing exceptionally.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing, but not one single Democrat, not one single except for John Fetterman. John Fetterman has said that. Isn't it amazing? Don't you think about that? The Democrat Party only has one voice of reason right now, and it's John Fetterman, a guy out of stroke. Had his brain reset, turn it on, turn it off, start it up again, defrag, do a disk cleanup, the whole deal. Maybe that's what happened. That's what happened. Here is the final thing that the Iran needs to do, according to Caroline Levitt, that is recognize it's been defeated.
But if Iran fails to accept the reality of the current moment,
and it is,
if they fail to understand that they have been defeated militarily and will continue to be, President Trump will ensure they are hit harder than they have ever been hit before.
Do it.
President Trump does not bluff, and he is prepared to unleash hell. Yeah. Iran should not miscalculate again. Their last miscalculation cost them their senior leader.
Wait, hold on a second. We made the Ayatollah into cardboard. Is that not hell?
Their Navy, their Air Force, and their air defense system. Any violence beyond this point will be because the Iranian regime refused to understand they have already been defeated and refused to come to a deal.
Yeah, pretty much. But their foolish pride is amazing, and their arrogance is amazing as well. A mass text in Iran promotes Trump's assassination. That's just not a good idea. That's just not even a good idea. So a text message sent to mobile users in Iran promoted what it described as an international campaign to reward the assassination of Donald Trump. $25 million is what they're offering. Send in the A-10s, send in the B-52s, send in the B-2s, send in the whatever the hell. Doesn't matter. Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House, said what is true, which is we are just shy of victory almost 4 weeks in.
We have the greatest, most powerful military fighting force ever conceived in the history of...
And they not completed yet, but the most successful, overwhelming, and destructive military campaign in world history. That's what's happened the last 3 weeks. There's no doubt about it. It was the most successful. It was the fastest. It was the most overwhelming in world history.
Planet Earth. It's an amazing power that we have, and we wield it for good. I think we're wrapping up Operation Epic Fury. That's what I think. And I think it will be done in short order, and that'll be right on schedule.
Yeah, and the Democrat Party will be left in the dust as we welcome home our troops with ticker tape parades. We will hire Democrats to clean up the mess. Maybe Zohran Mandami can hire some guys to shovel the confetti for $45 an hour. They'll require several IDs, though. General Jack Keane, here he is talking about the Straits of Hormuz, which effectively have been opened, and oil prices are going to start coming down. So all the gas prices going up and all this, all the caterwauling of the Democrat Party, even though, by the way, it never reached the highs that it did with Joe Biden, it's all going to end.
Comprehensive operation. We know how to do that. Admiral Cooper and his people are about doing that. And it's a fact. We will open by force the Straits of Hormuz, and we will keep it open.
Yeah.
That is the path that we're on here, as well as taking down Iran's offensive capability. You're demonstrating that every night, what we're doing that. Remove their nuclear capability as well in its entirety. And we're also talking to them. And essentially, for the American people to understand...
Yeah, the talks are going like this. Have you had enough? No. Okay, we'll keep bombing. Bye.
What the Trump administration, whose eyes are wide open...
Have you had enough? Hello? Oh, hold on. The guy we just talked to was killed.
In here, in terms of Iran, they're liars, they're cheaters. We understand all of that.
Have you had enough? Yes. Who is this? Who is calling? I am the new guy who is in charge.
And what we're simply asking them to do is surrender the capability...
Have you had enough? Oh, we killed him too.
That they have that we are forcibly taking away from them. We're offering them that opportunity to do that. It's unlikely they will do that. And that is why the military option is being forcibly executed every single day. As of a couple of days ago, we need about 3 weeks to finish this on the American side as well as the IDF side, systematically, deliberately. It's one of the remarkable success stories in American military history.
It is, absolutely. And you should be absolutely proud if you're a member of the military, or maybe one of your sons and daughters are currently in the military. You should be so proud. I know you already are, but dang, I mean real proud. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. It is the Rob Carson Show on a Thursday. Gold is at $4,382. So, it's holding in around the low to mid 4,000s. It was up 5,600 in January, giving you an opportunity to buy in right now while it's down a little bit. I was thinking about the Washington Monument, and years ago, like 15 years ago, I was living in D.C. We had a pretty big earthquake up and down the East Coast, and there wasn't a lot of damage to homes and whatnot, but to the Washington Monument, there was a significant amount of damage because the Washington Monument is built without structural steel. It is built with gravity, rock, stone, and mortar. And if there's a big earthquake, that thing will go like that. So will a lot of buildings here because they're not built for that. They were built a long time ago. And if your retirement account doesn't have metal in it, like precious metal, same thing can happen to it. You want to diversify. You need something to build a successful retirement. I think you know where I'm going here. And if you don't have metal, you're doing yourself a disfavor. Gold was worth $2,600 2 years ago, went up to $5,600. Right now it's giving pause at $4,300 for you to say, okay, let's add it to the portfolio. Text my name, Rob, to 989898 for Birch Gold, will ya? And you're going to get some information without obligation from a 5-star, A-plus Better Business Bureau company that I have my money in. And get in while the getting is good, okay? $4,300. 989898, text my name, Rob. 989898 for Birch Gold. Don Lemon, he still is willing to show his face in public. I don't know. I mean, honestly, shame is dead. Shame is dead. There's a million reasons why Don Lemon should never show his face in public again. But he was out in New York City yesterday talking to Persians, one of the native groups that live in Iran, because Iran was Persia. And then the Ayatollah, who is an interloper, by the way, an illegal alien. Moved in, and Don Lemon wasn't getting a lot of love trying to get Trump haters.
How do you feel about the war?
I'm Persian, so I support Donald Trump 100%. The Islamic regime kills women. They killed 50,000 people in 2 days. A lot of them believe death in all of Americans. Yeah. So I fully 100% support Donald Trump.
So you said you're Persian, but there's no imminent threat to the United States, and people here are...
You're just saying that, Don. I'm going to prove you wrong in a second here.
Most people here
I'm biased, are not. Right? I'm obviously biased because I'm Persian. And I understand why people wouldn't want war to happen. I understand that fully.
I don't know if you're biased.
Don's like, are you sure you're Persian? I think you're more calico. Maybe, I don't know, Siamese.
You just have your opinion.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. My dad grew up in Iran. He had to flee the country when he was 14.
Yeah.
Again, fully support Donald Trump with the bombing of the supreme leader.
Here comes Don.
Do you understand how Americans feel that this had nothing to do with us?
Really? How do Americans feel, Don, the guy who charges into a Christian church and terrifies people? How do Americans feel, Don?
We're not.
You have no friggin' clue what Americans feel, Don.
There was no imminent threat.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. Again, I'm Persian, so when I see...
well, here's the head of the CIA, John Ratliff, basically saying in front of Congress, under oath is the word I was thinking of, that, Iran is a major threat.
Has Iran plotted assassination attempts against Americans on American soil?
Yes.
Was Iran developing a nuclear weapon prior to our military action last June? And did Iran remain committed to developing a nuclear weapon in the lead up to this conflict?
Yes.
Yes. So I want to clarify on that because there's been much talk about a fatwa against the development of a nuclear weapon.
Can you come back to that 1 second? Let me finish
yeah,
this.
You
that's
bet.
Okay. If left unchecked, do you think Iran would have the ability to develop missiles capable of reaching the United States?
Yes.
Yeah, because they just launched one that went 2,000 miles. They said that they didn't have a missile that could go that far. But you see, they lied.
Did Israel force the U.S.'s hand and make us take action, as some have claimed?
No.
Director Gabbard, do you agree with the CIA director's assessment on that last question in particular?
Yeah, so you're saying basically Don Lemon is, I'll be kind. I will be kind. Yeah, it's basically they were a threat. Everybody knows it. You know why? Because they've caused so much mayhem and murder and death and, terrorist attacks over the years for 47 years. For 47 years. Alan Dershowitz was on Newsmax. Listen to Alan Dershowitz on Newsmax about how important it was that Donald Trump did what he did when he did. It is historic in ways you can only imagine.
This is the most important war since 1939, since Nazi Germany.
Yep.
If Iran is allowed to develop nuclear bombs, he will do what Hitler did, and there will be millions and millions of deaths. Had President Trump been in charge in 1935, 1936.
Yes, because the Islamists, they say that the Holocaust didn't happen. So there's that, too.
I think the Holocaust would have been prevented. I think he would have gone in after Nazi Germany.
What I say about bombing the train tracks to Auschwitz. That's what Donald Trump did, effectively.
Would have destroyed it the way he is destroying Nazi Iran. And the Holocaust would have been prevented.
Wow.
We're preventing another Holocaust, a nuclear Holocaust that Iran would clearly inflict not only on Israel, but on Europe. We now know that his rockets can reach Europe, and ultimately on the United States. So this is the most important war we have fought since the Second World War, and every decent person ought to join it. And the Democrats ought to join it in the United States, but they're not, because they're putting partisanship before national security.
And this is why I say they will be left in the dustbin of history. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. Hi, kids. How are you? Having fun? I'm having fun. So he's talking about the Motel 6 over here and putting a quarter in a bed to make it vibrate. I don't know the last time you went into a hotel, but I've not been alive long enough to have seen hotels with vibrating beds. I think the last time I saw one was in the movie Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. And even then, that was like 20 years late. So I don't think that happens anymore. I don't think so. There are other ways to make your bed vibrate, I suppose. Anyway. Who we got over here? America Marcy. What's up? Rita in Tennessee. How you doing today? You having fun? Have you booked your trip to come and see me in the fall? You better, because it's going to be fun. I'm going to show you a good time. User GY1WR, you're a moron. Bye-bye. I love it when trolls come in here. User GY1, whatever the hell you are, you're a moron. Get out of here. John Roy, hello. You guys always go after trolls when they arrive here and act like they know the show, and you always just, you're like Don Lemon invading a church. That's what you trolls are. You're like Don Lemon, and then there's another one troll up there saying, let's go Iran. You guys are morons. You're like Don Lemon, invading a church. You're unwelcome and you're an idiot. So there you go. I don't worry too much about you. Brian Wonderly, hello. Brian Wonderly, how are you? Whenever you get trolls in the chat room, it means you're winning, you're kicking their butts, and they're going, holy crap, Rob Carson's reaching a lot of people. And therefore, he's really a threat to us. And they're intellectually and morally bankrupt, and also just ultimately unprepared to, not prepared for any type of an argument whatsoever. So they get into chat rooms rather than calling the show, because they know I just eat them for lunch when they call. It's fun. All right, I got to talk. This is not an EV. And it never will be. By the way, Sony and Honda joint ventures discontinues EV development. Sony and Honda say the joint venture will discontinue their development and launch of electric vehicles. Sony has been developing its first EV model. Sony, you want a Sony car? The Afeela 1. The Afeela 1. It's Afeela. Afeela 1. That's a great name. Wow, that's right up there with Charger. Anyway, which will come with an AI agent and advanced driving support functions. There you go. The model produced at Honda in the U.S. state of Ohio was scheduled to be delivered in California 2026, but they're getting rid of it because nobody wants them. Nobody wants them. They're commuter cars. They're cute. They're cute little commuter cars. That's what they are. But you got to create the gas. You got to create the fuel to charge the battery. The vehicle does not create the energy itself. It just has a charged battery, like a flashlight. You should know that. Did you see this secret ping that went out last night on social media from the White House? You hear about this thing? I don't know. I don't know what it is. Hold on. There it is. That apparently was out. My son sent it this morning. to me, because my son is always like, he's Donald Trump's got dementia, or something. He'll get one of his dumb friends to call me and say something stupid. But the White House sent out that ping. I don't know what that ping is exactly, where this was. Yeah, ping. But somebody said it's from the White House that's on X. The ping. Where have I heard that ping before? It's been seen 17 million times as of like early 10 o'clock last night. Where have I heard that before? I've heard this is a familiar ping. Is that your microwave when the burrito is done? Is that what that is? It's very familiar ping. I think it's the microwave. I'm thinking maybe Donald Trump had some McDonald's. He wanted to reheat it in the microwave. I have no idea. I don't know. But anyway, that was going around, I guess, is the ping. Haven't heard anything about the ping since. This is kind of interesting. This is Donald Trump versus every other American president. Katie Pavlich did an interview with him about a guy who was being held hostage, and this happened.
One of your legacy items has been freeing hostages all over the world. Israeli hostages, American hostages. American Dennis Coyle has been taken hostage by the Taliban for almost a year now.
Yeah.
His family has been speaking out. Molly Long went on News Nation last week to ask for some more public attention to this case. What is your administration doing to get him home?
Well, if you give me the name.
Dennis Coyle.
Okay, you give me some information, I'll take care of that.
This is just moments ago. You hear those cheers. That's the pictures of Dennis Coyle, who has been held captive by the Taliban for about a year now.
Yeah, there you go. That's the difference between Donald Trump and every president since Reagan. He does what he says he's going to do. There you go. And he gets things done. Unlike Barack Obama, Joe Biden, the only thing they did was open the border and create a bunch of government programs that didn't fix anything but looted the treasury. There you go. Hour number 2 of the Rob Carson Show is right ahead. If I were you, I wouldn't go anywhere.
now.
You are about to hear the most interesting, informative, thought-provoking, and funny show in America. On air and on the World Wide Web. This is the Rob Carson Show.
This is hour number 2 of the Rob Carson Show, the only conservative talk show in America that entertains, informs, motivates, and features comedy. Yeah, I'm the only show in America. Nobody does it. There's one guy. His initials are JP, and he does his own comedy. It's terrible. I mean, nothing against him. It's not funny. It's pretty. You play it, and this producer goes, "Oh, don't," and then he'll go ahead and play it, and then she'll go, "Okay, whatever." Now I don't do that. I do real comedy. I do real comedy for real people. Yeah. And we, of course, are broadcasting not only on radio stations around the country, but also on all Newsmax social media. You can see my face. I'm looking. You got the hair going. Got the hair going. Got the Jack Lord Hawaii 5-0 kind of going there. A little bit, got good TV hair going. So you can see me on the Instagram and the Rumbly-Roo and the YouTubeage and the Facebook and the Twitter, all Newsmax. There you go. Morgan Murphy, the National Security Director, former National Security Director, a U.S. Navy captain, former Trump White House official, joins us at the bottom of the hour. He's always good, actually, and we'll talk to him about the killing of the IRCG Navy director. The guy was in charge of the Straits of Hormuz, shutting it down and all that. Israel made him into fish food. So, yeah. Oh, this is going to be terrible for Democrats. I got some good news.
We love to win. Winning, so much winning. It's lots of winning.
Lots of winning.
It's oh so good.
Initial jobless claims for jobless benefits remain at historic lows. Continuing claims fell to the lowest in 2 years, indicating a level of job security with little precedent in the modern era. Unfortunately, there are some people who have jobs, TSA agents, that Democrats are preventing from being paid, and they're going bankrupt. God, you guys suck. You just suck. The number of new claims for state unemployment benefits inched up last week to 210,000, up by 5,000 the previous week. The 4-week moving average of claims, a measure economists see as a better guide for the health of the labor market, dipped to 210,000, a decline of 250. In going back to 1967, the 4-week average of new claims has only been this low or lower 5% of the time in 170 of the 3,086 weeks during those decades, and I've lived all of them. The all-time low was in 1969 when claims fell to 179,000, but the workforce was much smaller then, and many young Americans were serving in the Vietnam War, depressing the labor supply. So the unemployment, job security is at an all-time high, unemployment all-time low. The only people who are suffering, of course, are our TSA agents, and it's ridiculous. It is disgusting. Here is one of them on Capitol Hill yesterday talking about the hell that our TSA, DHS agents are going through.
We are being forced to consolidate lanes and may have to close smaller airports if we do not have enough officers. Many in our workforce have missed bill payments, received eviction notices, had their cars repossessed and utilities shut off, lost their child care, defaulted on loans, damaged their credit line, and drained their retirement savings. Some are sleeping in their cars, selling their blood and plasma, and taking on second jobs to make ends meet, all while being expected to perform at the highest level when in uniform.
John Kennedy said that they ought to do the same thing to Congress, no pay until you get this settled. But, of course, Democrats are let them eat cake. Liberals, they would never do that. They would never do that. Have you suffered that recently? Have you been through that recently? I have. And you know my story. I was on SNAP benefits 6 years ago. No, about 7 years ago, because I was selling cars, and then I got discovered by Chris Reddy. But I really thought, I was going to end up living under a bridge, and my family was going to leave me. I'm not kidding. That's how bad it was. That's how bad it was. And had to sell the silver goblets that my wife's mother got for her wedding. We sold the goblets for the silver. I sold my father's retirement ring, my high school class ring, for the metal. That's how bad it was. That was just, less than a decade ago. And I am just sickened that this is easy to figure out. The Democrat Party wants ICE and CBP defunded. It's very obvious they want that open border again. They want millions of illegals to come across. Donald Trump's not giving up on that. And I'm going to tell you, you Democrats are just the worst. Here is Caroline Levitt yesterday talking about it.
Here at home, we are now on day 40 of the Democrats' shutdown of the Department of Homeland Security. Democrats in Congress are forcing American travelers to wait in hours-long lines at airports across the country, robbing TSA officers and other federal workers of their hard-earned paychecks that they use to feed their families, and causing billions of dollars in damage to our economy.
I asked you the other day if you know a TSA agent, maybe lives in your neighborhood, you can help them out, maybe somehow. I don't know what else to do. I don't know what else to say. I heard floating, just put 5-gallon buckets, right before the luggage check and fill them up with cash and let them divide that up at the end of the day. I don't know how practical that is.
A father of 3 recently told CBS News that he felt he had no other choice but to quit his job as a TSA officer and find other work.
This is what Democrats are going to do every 6 months. This is what they're going to do for the next 3 years. This is their modus operandi. They did it last fall. And I think they did it because of, wanted to fix Obamacare. They wanted to fix it. But guess what? After the shutdown ended, nobody pursued anything again. They just used it as leverage. And they failed. They didn't talk about health care, Obamacare anymore after that ended. They didn't.
As the Democrats' shutdown of DHS continues, this is the quote from the father, and I encourage everyone to listen. I think the hardest thing is seeing the struggle that my wife was going through and not trying to bring more stress to her, the father of 3 said, but seeing her cry every night. How am I going to feed my family?
Yeah.
How am I going to survive? For the Democrats in Congress, the cruelty of this shutdown is the point. Nearly 500 TSA officers have quit.
Casualties are their ammunition.
Since the Democrat shutdown began. President Trump, to alleviate this pressure, made the decision to send some of our amazing ICE agents to help alleviate that stress and address the long wait times. And for all of the critics of this solution a few days ago when it was proposed by the president, it is yielding results.
Yeah, Hakeem Jeffries said it was going to kill people. Hakeem Jeffries, and I don't know when you finally go, these people are just insane. Why would you say such a thing? Hakeem Jeffries, here's Hakeem Jeffries on
Sunday.
What's
your response to
what
Tom Homan revealed here?
Well, good morning. Great to be with you. There are 3 things that have been true since Donald Trump and Republicans came back into the lead are for untrained ICE agents to be deployed at airports all across the country, potentially to brutalize or in some instances kill them.
Ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. First of all, calling them untrained, calling ICE agents who are people who do a great job, who put themselves at risk to get illegal aliens out of the country, dangerous illegals who are killing Americans, among other things, calling them untrained, just like they did the police in 2020. I'm just so done. I'm so bloody done with the Democrats on this nonsense. It is utterly shameful and ridiculous, to be quite honest. And the Democrats have been doing this for a very long time with regard to inflaming hatred against ICE, because the thing is they want illegals to come here and stay here. They've got 20 million in here. They want to make them legal. They want to make them legal. You don't believe me? Listen to this. This is Representative Tom Suozzi of New Jersey, and they got their 20 million in here. They gave them all sorts of government freebies, and whatnot, and now they want them to stay. Now, realize that for the last 4 years, before Donald Trump, there were illegals coming in by the millions, unvetted for criminality, disease, military age, all of that, the whole deal. And this guy says, well, we might as well just make them legal.
If you've been here since President Trump became the president on January 20th of 2017, you've been here since that time, and you haven't committed a crime but for not having proper documentation.
But for not having proper documentation, you came here. That is the original sin. You came across the southern border illegally. That is the original sin. That is a deportable offense.
Let's figure out a way to legalize you so you can go to work every day, you can pay your taxes, you can raise your family, you can travel freely and not be afraid of being deported.
No. See, the thing is, it's an insult to people who came here illegally. Like 60% of illegals that have come across the southern border are on government aid right now. And in places like Minneapolis, Somalians, 89% of them are. And so, no, too bad, so sad. The original sin is you came across the southern border, and you got to go bye-bye. You got to go bye-bye. You got to do it the right way. Otherwise, you go bye-bye. That's just it. It's got to be that. particularly the last 4 years. Newsmax was out on the street, by the way, and they were asking people about what people think about ICE at airports. Now, Hakeem Jeffries said people are going to get murdered and everything, right? I don't think there have been any murders. Hold on a second. Let me look. Yeah, there haven't been any murders. Dear God. Anyway, here's Newsmax just asking people, what do you think about ICE at airports? You know, because they're going to murder people, and they're the Stasi, and they're Nazis, and they're the Gestapo. I mean, seriously, that's what they've been saying. You'd think people would be screaming.
They're here to help to offset some of the workload from TSA right now, so that's fine.
They're going to help out and, make things move a little faster. Extra security is always good to me.
This is kind of weird for people to talk about the Gestapo like this.
Oh, they're right there. All right, they're good. They're here to help. They're not bothering nobody. As long as they can check my bags and get me on my flight, I'm good to go.
That guy is so New Jersey, it ain't even funny. That guy right there, he went viral on the Newsmax.
Right? I want to get to the Bahamas.
I want to get to the Bahamas. What the hell? Could have got a bada bing, bada boom. I want to go to Bahamas. Bada bing.
I want out of here.
Well, I too would like to go to the Bahamas right now. But
yeah, there you go. That is Carl Higbee. That was pretty good. Bada bing, bada boom. Want to get out of there. Want to get out of here. Want to get out of here. Here's Donald Trump. No, I better hold this. I better hold on to this. I've got Sri Tanadar talking to a DHS supervisor. It's Sri Tanadar. My gosh. Tanatard is what his name should be. And Donald Trump last night speaking about all this. Coming up on the other side of the break. Let's take that break, shall we? This is the Rob Carson Show.
Deported. Deported. Deported.
Get him out. Ready? Are you ready? Get him out of here. Get him out of here. Get the hell out of here. Deported. Deported. Deported.
Commentary
military that cuts through the noise. It's my job to arm you with common sense and shape the national conversation. Don't miss the Scott Jennings Show weeknights at 9, Talk Radio 680 WCBM, and 99.9
Today, we, the International
FM in
Olympic
Hartford
Committee.
County.
Saturday morning from 7 to 8. Turn off the tiller, shed those garden gloves, and leave the dirt under your fingernails because you'll fit right in with the Garden Club with Alan Summers, the garden guru. Saturday mornings at 7 on Talk Radio 680 WCBM.
Please learn to listen.
Listen for the news at the top of the hour and again at the bottom of the hour. Then back to the top for more.
That's why it's important.
Have a new rejoin.
Yeah, I know, I heard.
Talk Radio 680 WCBM.
But in most places on earth, they believe that your rights come from your government and from your laws. But ours was founded on the belief that your rights come from your Creator and from God.
Come on. That, of course, is Marco Rubio, followed by Rage Against the Machine. Thank you very much. Here is Donald Trump last night. And I guess if it has to be Elon Musk paying the DHS, I say yeah.
Elon Musk has offered to pay TSA workers during this.
I should say TSA.
Shutdown. Is this something that you've been speaking to him about?
Yeah, I'd love it. I think it's great. Let him do that. And I want to thank ICE because they stepped in so strongly. They'll do great. And if that's not enough, I'll bring in the National Guard. We're not going to have the Democrats destroy our country. These people are the most destructive, sick people.
Yeah, they're kind of gross. The Democrat Party's kind of gross. Here's a little more from the president yesterday on the Democrat Party.
But they don't like the good publicity. They don't like to see us succeed. They want to see our country fail. And also, what they really want is they want illegal immigrants to come in. Criminals, doesn't matter, because they want to get their votes. They think they're going to get their votes, and we're not going to let this happen. We're not going to let our country be destroyed by these people.
Yeah. And the thing is, they're very transparent about it. They are very transparent about the fact that they value illegals more than they do the American citizen. I told you this, Democrats, 100% of Democrats on Capitol Hill are voting against voter ID, even though 70% of you are saying you want it. So you're not being represented. That's the worst thing about it. So I'm hoping you Democrats are going to come around and go, I'd like a party that kind of represents me. That would be nice.
If you agree with this statement, then stand up and show your support. The first duty of the American government is to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens.
Yeah. And during the State of the Union, we all know nobody stood up. None of the Democrats stood up. Here's Donald Trump last night talking about that.
Americans saw the true and craven nature of congressional Democrats during my State of the Union, and we're not going to let that happen again. They really are. They're a party, and it's terrible to talk. I want it to be the old way where they got, Democrats, Republicans used to get together, have lunch, and then they'd fight a little bit, and, but it doesn't seem to be happening that way.
Yeah, and I think we're reaching a point maybe that it's gonna happen. I hope so. I told you before when the election was happening, 80% of us believe the country's headed in the wrong direction. 80% of us believe we could save her, and I'm hoping that the Democrats will say, "Wow, I'm not being represented at all," and the Democrat Party just expects my vote because I have a D in front of my name, and they think I hate Donald Trump enough that I will vote for anything. That I'll vote for anything. And generally you do, but now they need the illegals to fill in the blanks. So there's that. This is Shri Tanadar, who is, wow. The hubris it takes to come to the United States of America and become such a profound leftist in our legislature, going after Win McNeil, talking about ICE in airports.
How does TSA plan to rebuild its TSO workforce when the administration keeps attacking it and now telling TSOs that...
Now, you guys are actually keeping them defunded, so there's that.
Untrained.
The ICE agents are trained, actually, quite well.
ICE agents can do a better job...
You certainly aren't trained to be a congressman.
And they can.
I'm extremely thankful to the President for recognizing the crisis that we are in and leveraging assets across the Department of Homeland Security to assist our agency in this very difficult time. And the ICE agents that have shown up are there in the support of the TSA mission, and we've been spending time training them the last few days, and we're seeing relief. Signs of early relief at the airports where we're seeing long lines. And this is how we function as a department. We collaborate across the component agencies. And this just underscores the importance of funding the entirety.
Yeah, we need to. But the Democrat Party wants to defund ICE and CBP. That's all you need to know. CBP, Customs, Border Patrol, ICE, enforcement of it, getting rid of illegals. That's what it really is all about. We all know it. There's no doubting it anymore. There's really no doubt about it at all whatsoever. Not one little tiny bit. Nope. This is kind of interesting. Stephen A. Smith had a come to Jesus moment the other day. He didn't realize you didn't need to show ID when you vote in the state of California. And he went, what the what? Now listen to this.
Let me state for the record, you should have a damn ID.
What?
I have no problem with the demand for an ID to vote.
Wow.
You need an ID for every damn thing else. And to the progressive left, shut the...
That's what I've said. You need it for everything else. And if the Democrat Party were so concerned about the well-being of Americans, if you don't have an ID, which you need to have to survive, to get anything, turn on your lights, get married, get a divorce, get a rented apartment, get a home loan, get a car loan, rent a movie. You don't rent movies anymore. Well, I don't think you need an ID when you're ordering online. But that said, you need an ID to do everything. So Democrats, if you don't have an ID, they should be saying, we've got to get Americans IDs. But instead they're saying, nope. Just vote without an ID.
Hell up. You got a mayor in New York City that required 2 IDs for you to shovel snow.
Yeah.
You ain't in no position to be bitching about how he wants IDs and the GOP wants IDs for votes. Shut up.
Man.
Nobody wants to hear that.
I love that Stephen A. Smith. He did a little mic drop there. I'm actually liking the old Stephen A. Smith right about now. That was pretty good. Usually I disagree with him on because when he strays into politics, he kind of goes bleep, bleep, bleep all over the place and, starts not making any sense. That makes a lot of sense. That's pretty darn good, man. Donald Trump, he was on, like I said, he was out last night delivering some speeches. Let me find, I had another soundbite I wanted to use Trump. Yeah, here's Trump. He's saying, you know what? I think Republicans are tired of being pushed around, and I think that the Republicans like John Thune, who are allowing us to be pushed around, need to be given a little what for.
If our Republican majority stand up for these priorities, the American people will stand with us in record numbers. We have to be strong. We have to be tough.
Yep.
And we can't let these thugs on the other side of the aisle push us around.
Yep.
Because what they're doing right now is wrong. And the public knows it. Now the public knows it. And they're on our side. But you have to fight, and you have to be tough. You have to be much tougher.
Save, act, and refund the TSA. Oh, by the way, October the 25th through the 29th, we're doing this incredible trip to Washington, D.C. You guys come to see me for the 250th anniversary of our country's birth. We're going to be doing a White House visitor center tour, go around the Capitol building, visit Arlington, changing of the guard, going to see Abe Lincoln, going to go see the Vietnam Veteran Memorial, World War II Memorial, going to walk on the mall, going to go see the changing of the guard, like I said, ground transportation, hotel accommodations, 4 nights in the heart of D.C., 6 meals, guides, and gratuities. Space is limited. Travelwithrob.net, travelwithrob.net. I insisted that we do a trip to D.C. even though I live here because I wanted you to be here to witness this history with me. It's important that we're here together. October 25th through the 29th this fall, travelwithrob.net or 800-383. 3131. That's 800-383-3131. Travelwithrob.net. Morgan Murphy, national security expert, U.S. Navy captain, joins us next. Don't go anywhere.
Hi, it's Tony Marino, host of the super popular Newsmax Daily Podcast, a rundown of the day's top headlines and top highlights of Newsmax shows and interviews you may have missed, plus some sports, stock markets, and even some yucks, all packed into about 20 minutes. Search for the Newsmax Daily with me, Tony Marino, on your favorite podcast platform, and check out our entire lineup of great podcasts, including Greg Kelly, Rob Carson, and Jerry Callahan at newsmax.com/listen.
This fall, you're invited to experience Washington, D.C. in a truly unforgettable way with me, Rob Carson, and other Newsmax listeners. Imagine strolling through our nation's capital as America celebrates 250 years and seeing history come alive with an expert guide. Together, we'll tour the White House Visitor Center, step into the halls of democracy with a guided tour of the U.S. Capitol building, visit Arlington National Cemetery and the changing of the guard, stand in awe before the towering figure of President Abraham Lincoln, and take in the beauty of D.C.'s legendary memorials with a special nighttime illumination tour. Our adventure includes premium hotel accommodations for 4 nights in the heart of D.C., in addition to 6 meals, ground transportation, guides, and gratuities. Space is limited, so don't wait. Visit travelwithrob.net to book your D.C. getaway today, or give our friends at Cruise and Tour a call at 800-383-3131. That's 800-383-3131, or travelwithrob.net.
We're eating pickles from the dollar store, hot pockets from the Dollar General, chicken wings expired yesterday. We're eating pickles from the dollar store, hot pockets from the Dollar General, chicken wings expired yesterday. We're eating pickles from the dollar store, hot pockets from the Dollar General, chicken wings expired yesterday. We're eating pickles from the dollar store, hot pockets from the Dollar General, chicken wings expired yesterday.
I make the Democrats look incredibly dumb. Inflation is down, the economy's starting to hum. Still, it's a real good bet, the best is yet to come. Best is yet to come since we bombed Iran. Taking out all their nukes, that was part of the plan. The border's secure once again. Illegals are getting in. Doge has saved us billions. This is what it's like to win. Best is yet to come, and it's gonna be fine. Best is yet to come, hear the Democrats whine. Listen to them whine. The last laugh is mine.
And hear the stories other media won't cover. Listen.
It is a Rob Carson show. And we have a long way to go and a short time to get there before the end of the radio program. Nan Hayworth is joining us next hour. That's going to be real awesome. We're kind of waiting for Morgan Murphy, and as always, things can change. So you know what? We soldier on. We do some stuff. Marco Rubio was just in a Cabinet Super Friends meeting. By the way, I like to call it the Cabinet Super Friends. I was one of those Gen Xers who grew up with the Super Friends. Remember the Super Friends? There was some really cool ones. Members of the Super Friends. There was Superman, and then there were the kind of lame ones. There were the Wonder Twins, and one of them could become an animal, and the other one could become something to do with water. Wow. Okay, Wonder Twins, activate. I'm a parrot. Yeah, and I'm an ice cube. It's kind of stupid. And an Aquaman who's only effective in the ocean. Unless he's on land, he might be able to get aquarium fish to, fight for good or whatever. Oh, my God, Gen X cartoons, they were terrible. Our cartoons were terrible. Oh, my God, Captain Caveman, Inch High Private Eye, Grape Ape, Jabberjaw. What the hell? Where's everybody high writing those shows? They were terrible. Super Friends are cool, though, and Marco Rubio is one of them.
The most important job any president has is to keep the American people safe. And every president says it, but we have a president that means it and does something about it. As the president outlined very clearly to the world on the night this operation began, Iran...
That would be Operation Epic Fury.
...has been at war with the United States for 47 years. Yep. For 47 years, Iran has been killing Americans and attacking Americans across this planet.
At least 1,000.
And other presidents had an opportunity to do something about it. And they all warned about how Iran was dangerous, but they refused to act. And this president's not someone that's going to refuse to act. He's not going to leave a danger like this in place. He's going to address it, and that is what he is doing. From the very first night of this operation, the president made it very clear. People like this, and now what I'm talking about is not the people of Iran.
No.
The people that run this country are radical Shia clerics. These are
they're interlopers. They don't belong there, by the way. They just moved in.
Religious fanatics. Look what they are doing now. At their weakest point.
They've been squatting in Iran for 47 years.
This is the weakest Iran has ever been. And look at what they're doing. Yep. They're attacking embassies. Yep. They're embassies. Yep. They're attacking hotels. Imagine what these people would do if they had a nuclear weapon. That is an unacceptable risk for the world. By the way, the president's not just doing a favor to the United States and to our people. This is for the world.
Yeah, it is.
He defined very clearly on the first night of this operation what the goal was.
Yes.
We were going to destroy Iran's navy, and that is happening. Oh, yeah. We were going to, if it hasn't already happened, I'll let Pete speak to the specifics of it. We were going to destroy their missile launching capabilities. We're well on our way to achieving that goal. We were going to destroy the factories so they couldn't make more missiles and more drones. And that is moving forward. Every single objective the president clearly laid out on the first night of this operation.
Yeah, although Democrats were not listening at all. But yeah, all of the things that they said they were going to do, they did. And it's amazing because, and the thing that really is sad about all of this is that, we're witnessing a history that we could have never dreamed of, really, honestly, right? This is bigger than the fall of the Berlin Wall. When you think about it, when you think about what's happening this year, the possibility of freedom for Cuba, freedom for getting rid of Maduro and communism in Venezuela. You got also, of course, what's happening with Iran, who's been enslaved for 47 years, and the Democrat Party hates Donald Trump so much they can't bring themselves to be happy about it. It really is pretty sad. They're on the wrong side of history. On the wrong side of history altogether. I saw something kind of interesting. Now I'm going to save that till next hour. Think about Zohran Mandami. I'll say that for Nan Hayworth because it's pretty remarkable about some of the things that I told you that New York City is like Tehran in 1979, and there's a lot of reasons why I was absolutely right about that. Here is Rob Finnerty from Newsmax, who's absolutely awesome, talking about the airports being closed and whatnot, and then, of course, relating it to the death of another young woman by the hands of an illegal alien with a criminal record, came here from Venezuela, was captured and released and then murdered. This happened again in New York City, by the way. I had another story today of an 83-year-old veteran being shoved onto the train tracks. 83-year-old veteran randomly shoved onto the New York City train tracks, dies from injuries. Illegal migrant charged with it. U.S. Air Force veteran who randomly shoved onto the subway tracks by an illegal migrant in the Upper East Side died from his injuries. Grandfather Richard Williams succumbed to his injuries after he was allegedly pushed onto the tracks by another man while waiting for a train. His attacker, Honduran national Bayron Hernandez, 34, was arrested March 10th. His charges have been upgraded to murder. Hernandez, who was picked up by police March 10th, is a serial criminal with a lengthy rap sheet of at least 15 charges, including aggravated assault, possession of a weapon, domestic violence. Same thing going on in the state of Virginia with the murder of a 41-year-old mom at a bus stop, not far from where I live, by the way, stabbed to death for no good reason by an illegal alien criminal who had been arrested like 40 times, including for rape. Yeah, rape and stabbing and stuff like that. But here is Rob Finnerty.
Democrats like Hakeem Jeffries are trying to scare people about going to the airport.
The last thing that the American people need are for untrained ICE agents to be deployed at airports all across the country, potentially to brutalize or in some instances kill them. We've already seen how ICE conducts itself. These are untrained individuals when it comes to doing the current job that they have for the most part, let alone deploying them in close exposure and highly sensitive
They did a great job, by the way. They're doing a great job in the airports.
Situations at airports across the country.
Okay, by the way, same CNN anchor, Dana Bash. Notice no pushback.
No.
Tom Homan's on, we push back.
Yeah.
One of our people, Hakeem Jeffries, is on, and we just let him say that.
Of course.
And look, I don't think Hakeem Jeffries is one of the great minds in Washington. That's not controversial. It's fine. I don't blame him for that. Maybe it's not his fault. But maybe lying about ICE agents killing people before they go to the airport isn't the right move right now, after another Joe Biden illegal alien allegedly killed another innocent American girl. She was just 18 years old. Murdered for absolutely no reason 4 days ago in Chicago by this guy, Jose Medina. We got it the first time. Jose Medina would suffice. But
yeah. And here's J.B. Pritzker. Yeah, you know, the inflatable governor of Illinois, blaming Donald Trump.
There have been real failures. Those failures, of course, extend beyond the borders of Illinois. They're national failures, a failure to have comprehensive immigration reform, a failure of the president to follow his own edict to go after the worst of the worst.
And here is a Chicago Democrat, Maria Hadden. Now, by the way, this wonderful woman, Sheridan Dorman, who was only 18 years old, freshman in college, and had a life ahead of her, and was just murdered. She apparently they came upon this guy, and this guy, as she turned and ran, he shot her in the back of the head. And her friends huddled and hid, but she died. But here is a Chicago Democrat, Maria Hadden, blaming the girl, blaming Sheridan for it.
The kids were out doing normal things people do in the neighborhood, and it sounds like this might have been a wrong place, wrong time, running into a person who had a gun. They might have startled this person at the end of the pier unintentionally.
Wow.
But that's all we know. So
yeah, he startled him, so he had to run after her and shoot her in the back of the head. Startled her, so had to do that. That's pretty interesting. And now it's absolutely it's awful. It's absolutely awful. This is Patricia Easley, the founder of an organization called Chicago Red, on J.B. Pritzker, blaming this poor girl for having her life cut short at 18 years old.
Obviously, Governor Pritzker does not care about the American people. He hasn't said anything about Sheridan. He actually went to Minnesota to put down flowers for Renee Good, but did not go to the lakefront where he filmed an ad to show how safe Chicago is that's now stained with her blood. He hasn't gone there to drop a rose. We are tired, America.
Amen.
We need help.
Yes,
I've been sitting here in this chair for 2 years asking the federal government to supersede the policies that are making the American people sitting ducks for criminals, literal criminals who crawl through a hole in the gate and are being subsidized with our tax dollars. How much more can we take? She's not the first woman to be killed by an illegal in this city, in this country, but yet every time we ask for the help and we get the help, we have our local officials here who send out their liberal army to go out and fight against them. And we're asking everybody to now get out the way and let them do their work.
100%. I've got more, including what happened in Northern Virginia. And we're reaching a breaking point. We can't do this anymore. We can't take this anymore. We can't take this nonsense from the Democrats anymore. We can't take this body count anymore of young women being murdered by illegals. We've got to have it stop. Let's take a break and come back. This is The Rob Carson Show.
98.9 FM in Harford County.
We have the greatest, most powerful military fighting force ever conceived in the history of planet Earth. It's an amazing power that we have, and we wield it for good. I think we're wrapping up Operation Epic Fury. That's what I think. And I think it will be done in short order, and that'll be right on schedule.
There you go. And it was, of course, given 4 to 6 weeks on day one. Chris Murphy and Democrats said it was already a disaster. The fastest I've ever seen a military action by the United States military condemned by Democrats. It's really quite sickening, to be quite honest. Joining us to talk about this and other things is Morgan Murphy, national security expert, U.S. Navy captain, and former White House Trump official. And he's on the Newsmax hotline. Morgan, how you doing today, brother?
Oh, it's great to be with you. Thanks for having me.
You're also a gubernatorial candidate. Tell us real quick about that.
Well, I'm not running for governor. I just actually dropped out of the U.S. Senate race.
The Senate race, I apologize.
Barry Moore.
Gotcha.
Barry Moore got President Trump's endorsement. And rather do what they did in Texas, which is to fight and Republicans spend money left, right, and center attacking each other. I dropped out and endorsed him. He's a solid conservative.
Well, I apologize for not knowing that, my friend. I do copious amounts of show prep, and that one slipped right by me. But anyway, I'm glad to have you on here, Ernie, because it's
hard to surprise.
That's all right. That's all right. Let's talk a little bit about where we are. It was kind of funny this morning. I like to say that Operation Epic Fury was named this because it's epic and it makes Democrats furious. You heard Mike Johnson, Caroline Levitt as well, Josh Hawley saying that we have effectively defeated the Iranian military. There's no doubt about that. There's no doubt about that. Right now, it's just a matter of what little shenanigans that they could pull. They had 5 conditions for ending the war. Laughable. What are your thoughts on Operation Epic Fury, and what do you think is going to happen from here?
Well, it's a master class in how great our Department of War operates when it's headed by competent people.
Yes.
By Pete Hegseth, by a commander-in-chief who isn't afraid of commanding and making strategic decisions that are hard. You saw just epic failure in the Biden administration, one after another. No one will forget people falling from the sky during the evacuation of Afghanistan.
Yes.
Our worst military defeat in this country since the War of 1812, when the British burned the White House. So to go from that to bagging Venezuela's dictator in 35 minutes and taking out the world's largest state sponsor of terror in a matter of weeks, I think just shows what competence can do in the hands of the right people.
Now, we took out the IRCG Navy commander who was in charge of trying to shut down the Straits of Hormuz. You're a U.S. Navy captain. I mean, to look at how many ships we have sunk, put this into perspective, because it must be even shocking and amazing to you, particularly as a Navy captain, this volume of boats being sent to the bottom of the ocean.
It's awesome. And, for 20 years, the Navy really kind of played second fiddle to the Army during the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, and the Navy tried to make itself, we pointed towards us being more expeditionary force and wear camo and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And now we're seeing why we have such a strong Navy and why it's so vitally important that we have a strong Navy, because it is the center of great power conflict. If you're going to get into it with a competent country, that is a country with an air force, a country with air defenses, a country with a Navy, well, by God, you need the United States Navy. And we've been fighting Muslim terrorists since the very founding of our Navy back in the 1800s. When we attacked Jefferson sent the Navy out to sack the pirates. The Marines are still singing about taking out.
That's why the Marines were created, for God's sake. So
it is.
I mean, it is.
It's an old battle. It's an old battle.
100%, brother. But it looks like you've got other Saudi or other nations, I say, in the area who are going to maintain the Straits of Hormuz, keep it open in perpetuity. That's a game changer for the world.
It is. It's essential for the world. It's particularly essential for China, Korea, Japan. China is getting 20% of its oil, and 20 million barrels of oil go through the strait every day, and that's not coming to fill up F-150s in Alabama and Texas. That oil is going to China, it's going to Japan, it's going to Korea, it's going to Europe. And so they have a vested interest in keeping the strait open. And it was really interesting, the Europeans' first reaction to this war. And they said, well, it's not our war.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Well, just like Ukraine isn't our war, but we're helping you with that. So it really, to me, as somebody who's spent 26 years in the military, I've worked in national security at the White House, at the Pentagon, at the State Department. To me, that was a huge eye-opener, and it's what Trump has been saying about NATO all along, is that they're not reliable allies.
Yeah, I think the great thing about it is that we are going to see a millennial shift in the Middle East of peace that we've waited for 1,000 years or more, and this peace and patriotism and trade is going to extend around the entire world. Morgan Murphy, we got to run, brother.
You're so right. We've been waiting on it for 47 years here.
Yeah, bro.
Peace. We finally attacked the real enemy.
No apologies at all. By the way, you're on Twitter at Morgan W. Murphy, right?
W. Murphy.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 W's.
2 W's. Morgan WW, as in World War Murphy.
World. Yeah.
Thanks for joining me, bro. We'll talk again soon. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. I thought he was running for governor. That's really nice. You know, sometimes things slip by me, people. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. I know you will. Anyway. I don't care. He was late for the interview anyway. All righty, you guys on the social media. Hello, Dale Arsenault. About 93 new comments. Holy hell. Squall White. Matthew. To rescue my family from hunger. My phone number. Matthew. Well, Matthew, I don't know if begging for money is a good idea on this. So I'm doubting you're going to get a lot on the chat. I'm sorry for your predicament, but there are other ways to get help. I do wish you all the best. All right, what else we got? Round a Pony. Toy Caliber. You're new over there, Toy Caliber. On the Rumbly-Roo. What's going on? I'm looking at your chats. I try to catch up with your chats while I can't because I'm too busy focusing on my show, and then forgetting that somebody didn't run for governor. He ran for Senate. Anyway, sport. Man, the chat is long, baby. Toy Caliber. Like I said, new. Over on YouTube, it's Brian Wonderly. What's going on, America Marcy? How you doing? I'm going to go enjoy the weather today. I'm going to head down to King Street in Old Town Alexandria, and then I'm going to chill out and get ready for tomorrow's show. It's supposed to be rainy and yucky here. What do I want to do next here? Hold on one second. I got to figure out Stephen A. Smith. Oh, yeah. I want to hear this. I got this next. Here we go. I got this next. Hold on. It's time for me to talk.
Yeah, about 3.5.
I was talking earlier about this beautiful young woman, Sheridan Gorman, who was murdered in Chicago by an illegal alien. There's another case here in Northern Virginia. Stephanie Mentor's 41 years old mother, and she was murdered at a bus stop by the same kind of an illegal alien who'd been in and out of jail a number of times. This is Democrat Chicago Alderman Raymond Lopez holding who's accountable. I'm
not a rabid Trump supporter or hater. But if you're going to blame the federal government, then blame it where this problem began, which was under the Biden-Harris administration that allowed 15 million people from South America, Central America, and across the oceans to come through our southern borders, manipulate asylum, be poorly vetted, and then scattered to the 7 winds of the United States. That's where this problem started, and I have yet to hear a single Democrat hold Biden and Harris accountable for what has happened, because they knew who they were allowing in, they have their information, they vetted them poorly and still let them go even when they were criminals. And to say it's Donald Trump's fault simply because we refuse to work with them to go after those high priority targets. There are 2,000 priority targets in the city of Chicago right now who we know are...
Yeah, and they've got to be held accountable, guys. We got to win the midterms, and then we've really got to go nuts on them. We got to go nuts on them for what they did to us by opening the border.
We have rescinded
so many Trump immigration.
This is how it all started.
Policies. It would take so much time to list them.
There have been more than 1 million migrant encounters since October 1st when our fiscal year began. It is the earliest this milestone has ever been reached.
It's a mess that this administration created from day one.
Smugglers and cartels exploiting chaos at the border.
Agents are being removed from the line. They're having to process. They're having to do all the administrative work. And who is it that's, flourishing from this? It's the drug cartels.
Cartel gunmen stroll along the riverbank, armed with rifles. It's here where cartel gunmen have repeatedly been seen wandering through the brush after crossing into the U.S. illegally.
And it's not going to stop because this administration doesn't want it to stop.
This administration just does not care about the American people. They've shown that time and time again.
That is the U.S. side of the Rio Grande.
58 terrorists have crossed the southern border.
The entire world is showing up here at our doorstep. They're crossing illegally, and they are expecting to get released here into the United States.
Yeah, do you remember that? You better, because you can't forget it. You cannot forget it as we go into the midterms. You cannot forget what they did and the danger we still face, and the body count is still continuing because of that nonsense to open our southern borders like a Trojan horse stuffed with their enemies. It happened in Europe. It's happened all over the world. It was a plan. So don't ever forget. Don't ever forget. Always remember the names. Always remember what they did to us for 4 years, because we've got to turn things around 100%. And we can do it too. That's what we've done. That's what we do. We got another 250 years, baby. The only way we're going to survive is to remember what they did and change things. Nan Hayworth, first female MD to serve as a member of Congress from New York. She joins us at the bottom of next hour. Let's take a break and come back. Don't go anywhere.
No blind rhetoric.
No talking down to me.
Don't tell me how to think.
Don't tell me how to think. Don't tell me how to think.
I trust Newsmax. Newsmax.
They don't tell me how to think. They let me decide.
Real news for real people.
Hold it now.
You are about to hear the most interesting, informative, thought-provoking, and funny show in America. On air and on the World Wide Web. This is the Rob Carson Show.
This is the Rob Carson Show. You guys streaming, you just caught me doing show prep. Oh my gosh, could have been a lot worse, trust me. Could have been a lot worse. Welcome to hour number 3 of the show. Nan Hayworth is going to join us at the bottom of the hour. She's always fun. She's my friend Nan. I like Nan. Nan is cool. She's also very savvy. Very, very savvy. The left went a little nuts the last few years with this transgender nonsense, and they made a lot of people convinced that that you could become a boy and a boy could become a girl, and what they did is they carpet bombed us with things like if you don't believe in this, you're transphobic, you're homophobic, and then they created a new spectrum of people called the LGBTQIA+. I mean, honestly, wow, how stupid. How stupid. I told you, eventually we're going to wake up, we're going to look back, and we're going to go, how stupid was all of this? LGBTQIA+. If you say that you're a member of the LGBTQIA+ community, you should be laughed at. This is so stupid. I had my daughter, she was looking for a roommate, and she looked at the directory at the university where she's going, and I said, okay, you can choose a roommate, but if they have non-binary as one of their features in there, or pronouns, you're not going to room with them. And she's like, why not? I said, because non-binary wasn't invented until about 7 years ago, and they're insane. She was not happy about it, but I said, I'm not going to pay for your roommate if you have an insane transgendered LGBTQI+ non-binary lesbian or whatever the hell. No, not going to happen. Not going to happen. Good news, though, transgender women athletes who are women who were born with penises are now excluded from the Olympics after the IOC agreed to a new eligibility policy on Thursday, which aligns with Donald Trump's executive order on women's sports ahead of the 2028 Los Angeles Olympics.
Today, we, the International Olympic Committee, have published a policy on the protection of the female category. I understand that this is a very sensitive topic.
No, not really.
As a former athlete, I passionately believe in the rights of all Olympians to take part in fair competition.
Sure.
The policy that we have...
Why aren't there any male athletes who were born women in any sport? Like, there's 3. Because men are not as strong or fast as women. Just look at the world records.
Announced is based on science, and it has been led by medical experts with the best interests.
I know, it took, in 2026, we're debating that if you're born with a PP, you're a boy, and you're born with a Nina, you're a girl.
Athletes at its heart. The scientific evidence is very clear.
You don't really need it. You just kind of got to, unzip, look down.
Chromosomes give performance advantages in sports that rely on strength, power, or endurance.
Wow.
At the Olympic Games, even the smallest margins can be the difference between victory and defeat.
You don't need to explain it. Men are stronger and faster, and women aren't. That's it. That's it. That's all. That's that. The other night, and I wasn't meaning to brag or anything, well, kind of, but, I'm at the gym, and I see the most powerful woman in the gym, and she's buff as can be, and she's like 20, and she goes over, and she's at a bench press, and she's got one plate on either side, 135 pounds, which is actually more than she weighed. She probably weighs 120. So that's respectful. That'd be like if I benched, and I can, 270. All right, so that's cool. So she has a spotter, and she goes over, and she brings it down, and she pushes it back up, and she gets one, and then she pushes it back down, and then she needs a spot for the second one, puts it back up, and racks it. And I went over, and I do my normal workout, which is one plate 20 times, then add 10 on either side. That's 20 pounds. Then do 15. Then add 25, which is 50 pounds. Do that 15. And then do 2 plates, which is 245, 10 to 12 times. Then I do 1 plate 20 times. Then I go on, I do machine press. Yeah, so that's a 60-year-old man, by the way. So, it's all been fall to wall. It's all been absolute nonsense. Here's some more good news. Ohio court rejects a view that opposing a child's gender usage is evidence of parental unfitness. Yeah, so a lot of people said that if you don't go along with your child telling you that they want a life-changing medical procedure for no good reason, or you'll kill yourself, there were school districts and magistrates and whatnot who were saying, oh, yeah, it's the parents who are the problem. Honestly, wow, just wow. Yeah, an interesting decision. Ohio Court of Appeals last week on parental rights and transgender identity. A couple of judges there ruled that the state was wrong in suggesting that the failure to accept a child's gender change was evidence of being unfit parents. Dear God, what the hell? This is like Twilight Zone kind of crap. Is a notable conclusion giving our recent discussion of a case in Iceland where a father was stripped of his custodial rights after criticizing the gender transition of his minor child. Can you imagine as a father having to go through this? Can you imagine this? There's no requirement in Ohio law that parents must unquestionably accept and support their minor children's claims of transsexual identity or preferred pronouns. In fact, this remains hotly contested socially, politically, and legally. As an example, the state of Iowa has banned so-called gender-affirming care for minors because they're monstrous and were performed by Joseph Mengele on Jewish children in concentration camps. Yeah, they did it! For minors, because the inherent risk of providing such treatment to minors whose minds are developing and may change. Yeah, you wouldn't send your 3-year-old to the fire training academy because he wants to be a fireman. Supreme Court has upheld a similar ban in Tennessee. Justice Garrett, joined by Chief Justice Roberts, emphasized the doctrine of substantive due process has long embraced the parent's right to raise the child. It is ridiculous. And this one of these cases here was presented, mother and father's cautious reactions to their daughter Sarah's disclosure of her perceived transgender status and preference of male pronouns. The lack of concern. Karen and Sarah's therapist testified that Sarah is struggling with gender identity. Karen explained that Sarah tended to change her sexuality every 4 to 5 weeks. Children who struggle with these issues deserve sober and sensitive guidance. So if your kid decides she's a girl and then decides becomes a boy and then decides when she's a girl that she wants to get her breast removed in a hysterectomy and have a phallus formed out of flesh from her arm into a penis, you might want to wait a couple weeks because she might be saying she's a girl again. Yeah, we needed cases like this. I mean, what? Meanwhile, here's Lindsey Williams. She's a minority chair in the Pennsylvania State Legislature, and she says there's no difference between boy and girl athletes.
Female bodies are just as strong, as fast and capable as male bodies.
Well, that's an absolute falsehood, and it's easily disproven if you just look at the Guinness Book of World Records.
For what reason, other than political gain,
no,
are we spending time and taxpayer dollars on a completely made-up issue?
No, it's not.
There are 8 million high school athletes across the country, and maybe 160 of them are trans.
Yeah.
This is the 5th time we are voting on this bill that targets less than 0.00.
Yeah, but see, if one male athlete destroys the athletic career of female athletes, you have to stop it. You see, and this moron, for instance, I use the example, and I posted it yesterday on the social media, that the world records for shot put men and women are very close. They're both about 27, 28 meters. They are for the shot put. But here's the difference. The male shot put weighs 16 pounds. And the girl shot put weighs 8 pounds. So the guy can throw a shot put twice as heavy as the girls, the same distance, you see. This is a transgendered individual talking about in New Hampshire, SB 552, which is about boys being girls and competing with girls.
I thank the Honorable Committee for having me here today. My name is Hazel Kane.
This is going to give you a headache.
I'm testifying in opposition to Senate Bill 552. I think we just have to get something straight. We have to tell it like it is. Trans women are women. Some women are born with brown skin. Some are born with light skin. Some are born.
No women are born with penises.
With green eyes, and some are born with blue eyes.
Yeah.
Some have uteri. Some have vulvas.
He said some have uteri and some have vulvas.
Some have XY chromosomes and penises. And I'm going to be
no, absolutely wrong.
Quite frank with you, and I apologize for who I will offend. If you are a woman...
Yeah, I'm not going to let that go any further here. This is the soundbite of the week from a CSU California professor taking a very circuitous way to Just listen.
And the idea that I have to get up here and say that trans women are women and that's what I have to use my time to do is absurd.
It is that you're even saying this, though. You have to, that people don't believe that men are born with penises and women are born with vaginas and all that.
Shame on you.
Okay.
Shame on all
You're shaming us, okay.
of you. And shame on you for using lesbian politics as a front for your transphobia, because this lesbian has had plenty of girlfriends with penises.
So just a comment.
Okay. So he's a lesbian who's had sex with women with penises. That's a circuitous way to straighten us. I mean, isn't it kind of a circuitous way to straighten us? And meanwhile, another victory in the state of Maryland. They wanted to put tampon machines in the men's and women's room, or no, the men's rooms at Raven Stadium and Orioles Ballpark. And in Maryland, I couldn't even believe it. It did not pass. It did not pass. Thank God. Jim Gossett did this about that. On the Rob Carson Show.
Maryland Democrats proposed a bill regarding the men's room, a bill they ought to kill.
I'll have a hot dog.
The whole idea is disgusting and lewd. They say that public buildings have to include
tampons in the boys' room.
Tampons in the men's room. The people say no, but Dems don't care, and everybody knows that tampons don't belong in there.
Or down there, whatever.
At Raven Stadium, in the men's facility, they want tampon dispensers for all the world to see.
Stupid!
At Orioles Park, they want tampons sold in the men's room. This crap is getting old.
Tampons in the men's room.
Tampons in the men's room.
So stupid.
Democrats are wanting to change the rules, and everybody knows their party is a ship of fools.
Yeah, there you go. Jim Gossett. So no tampons in the men's room at Ravens or Orioles games, which, of course, would have been torn down by men because it's an affront to masculinity and manhood and all of that stuff. Because you see, if you're a man, you got a bat and balls. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. everybody.
Hey, Rob, I have a rejoin. I have John Myrick. He's a Republican candidate for governor of Maryland. Would you want to talk to him?
Not right now.
Okay.
Tell him we got to book him. We got to book him.
Voter ID. Somebody
Sorry.
that wants to cheat.
100%. 100%. That's what it's all about. Left wing. Yeah, everybody understands it. Even Stephen A. Smith understands the reason why Democrats don't want a voter ID.
Let me state for the record, you should have a damn ID. I have no problem with the demand for an ID to vote. You need an ID for every damn thing else. And to the progressive left, shut the hell up. You got a mayor in New York City that required 2 IDs for you to shovel snow. You ain't in no position to be bitching about how he wants IDs and the GOP wants IDs for votes. Shut up.
Ooh.
Nobody wants to hear that.
I love that. That is awesome, Stephen A. I love. Do you know this desk that I had built here in the studio? That I had built and I had sent, and I paid more to get into the country than I had to build it. Well, why didn't you have it made in America? Well, because TV set devices in the United States cost 3 times as much. Whenever you buy broadcast equipment in the United States, it's like flowers. When you're for Valentine, or like if you went and bought a dozen roses now at the floral shop, and then you had them for a wedding. When it says broadcast in front of you, you charge 10 times as much for it. So I had to go elsewhere. But anyway, Stephen A. Smith, my desk was made in the same manufacturer of it. Mine's actually a whole lot cooler. There you go. You know what I think we need? I think we need our Who Caught the Stupid update today. I got one today. You will not believe.
Stupid, people. Just plain stupid.
Stupid is stupid does, Miss Blue.
Who got stupid?
Yeah, you're going to love this.
It's stupid to have a good time.
Right, so in the state of Oregon, okay, I'm just going to say if you live on a farm, grew up on a farm, if you hunt, if you enjoy a cheeseburger, if you enjoy a steak, if you enjoy a little salmon, you want to listen to this idiocy out of the state of Oregon. Check it out.
Proposed ballot measure in Oregon is sparking backlash as it could make hunting, fishing, and farming illegal. If passed, the measure would remove exemptions for animal
hunting, fishing, and farming illegal in the state of Oregon. People proposing this, you morons. How you going to eat? Oh, no, you eat veggies. You're vegans. Well, I tell you this, veggies grow on farms.
Laws which currently protects hunting, fishing, farming, and if removed, it could make killing animals illegal in many cases, including hunting, fishing, and livestock slaughter.
Okay, you need to hunt to manage a species. There's 2 ways you could have venison on the grill. Okay, one is on the grill of your car, and one is on the grill that is either charcoal or gas.
But the measure's 100,000 supporters argue the bill would modernize wildlife policy and reduce animal suffering. And those are your headlines, guys. Wow, how about...
Now, I want you to listen to Kill Me. This is really funny. I don't normally play Fox Bites, but I thought this is funny because I heard this when it happened. Listen, it's so outrageous and stupid that Kill Me lost his filter.
That unintended consequences? I think not.
Yeah, I mean, just another reason to leave one of those crazy states. I mean, what are they doing?
Yeah. There's sometimes it's so outrageous that you forget, I don't know if you know this in broadcasting, you have a switch that turns off when you have the microphone on. I've managed, with very few exceptions, to not cross the border when it comes to words that I shouldn't use on the air. Because there's a switch. It's just right there. It's just, nope. Fudge. Ship. Son of a biscuit. Shut the front door. You got to kind of, Jamie Rask, whatever. Rassel, Raskin, whatever it is. There is a switch, but when it becomes so stupid, it honestly it triggers the switch. The switch goes off, and you do something like that. So today the Who Caught the Stupid update is definitely Oregon.
Stupid, people. Just plain stupid.
Stupid is stupid does, Miss Blue.
Who got stupid?
Oh, so stupid. This is kind of interesting. They got all this fraud's been going on around the country, and hospice fraud and whatnot. There's a wonderful person on MRC Video named Brittany Hughes. She kicks butt, and we're going to have her on the show. Nick Shirley went out and found all of these hospice frauds and all of these feeding our future frauds and all these daycare frauds and whatnot.
Warning, you are under video surveillance. No trespassing, security, armed. Healthcare here, healthcare right here. There are 3 healthcare companies inside of this building right here in this room. Present help right here. We're looking for the best rates of healthcare here inside this building.
No
we have
healthcare.
so many options. Who can we talk about getting the best healthcare?
I don't know.
No.
Sorry.
We headed over to the next building that had 22 of the same home health care providers.
This
is absolute madness. This is compelling evidence of
This is Brittany Hughes. She's fantastic.
Massive multi-million-dollar fraud scheme being run by the Somali community, dozens of daycare centers with no children, home health care centers with no clients, food charities that aren't providing meals. We've got grocery stores and restaurants running food stamp fraud schemes, and hundreds of millions of dollars are being poured into this place. And it's a scam. And there's not a whisper about this on any major news network.
Yep.
This story is blowing up on X. It's gaining traction on other platforms. But if you Google it, you get nothing. I think Fox News has it, maybe the New York Post. But aside from that, unless you've stumbled across it on social media, you would have no idea that it's happening.
Now listen to this. This is RFK Jr. This is what happened during the Biden administration. They set it up. They set this scam up intentionally. The Democrat Party. Listen.
I'm not a partisan person, but one of the things that I found out from people in my agency was they were ordered by the Biden White House not to do program integrity. In other words, not to enforce against fraud. And they said they were told, we want to focus on only enrollment and getting more and more people into the system.
They signed them up intentionally without any intention of finding fraud. That's what they did. The idiots who just took charge of the legislature in the state of Virginia actually are proposing, saying that there can be no investigation of charities that receive tax dollars. That's the scam. That's what we're up against. That's why we need to take back both houses of Congress with very large majorities in both, so we can gut this. We can gut it and people can go to jail. It's got to happen. Nan Hayworth, ex-Congresswoman for the state of New York, who's awesome, joins us next. Don't go anywhere. This fall, you're invited to experience Washington, D.C. in a truly unforgettable way with me, Rob Carson, and other Newsmax listeners. Imagine strolling through our nation's capital as America celebrates 250 years and seeing history come alive with an expert guide. Together, we'll tour the White House Visitor Center, step into the halls of democracy with a guided tour of the U.S. Capitol building, visit Arlington National Cemetery and the changing of the guard, stand in awe before the towering figure of President Abraham Lincoln, and take in the beauty of D.C.'s legendary memorials with a special nighttime illumination tour. Our adventure includes premium hotel accommodations for 4 nights in the heart of D.C., in addition to 6 meals, ground transportation, guides, and gratuities. Space is limited, so don't wait. Visit travelwithrob.net to book your D.C. getaway today, or give our friends at Cruise and Tour a call at 800-383-3131. That's 800-383-3131, or travelwithrob.net.
Hi, it's Tony Marino, host of the super popular Newsmax Daily Podcast, a rundown of the day's top headlines and top highlights of Newsmax shows and interviews you may have missed, plus some sports, stock markets, and even some yucks, all packed into about 20 minutes. Search for the Newsmax Daily with me, Tony Marino, on your favorite podcast platform, and check out our entire lineup of great podcasts, including Greg Kelly, Rob Carson, and Jerry Callahan at newsmax.com/listen.
Hey guys, it's Carson. I just got a ghost bed. Yeah, no, pay attention here, because I've been sleeping on a foam mattress since I moved to the Washington, D.C. area, which is like sleeping on the sponge in your sink. Ghost Bed doesn't build mattresses like furniture. They build engineered sleep systems. Their beds are serious health equipment. Beds designed for relief and recovery, not looks, not fluff. Your body should be healing while you sleep, not fighting for comfort. I have been sleeping past 7 in the morning on my Ghost Bed. It's unbelievable. If you wake up stiff, you toss and turn, if you sleep hot, Even reaching for a pain reliever before bed, hoping tonight will be different. That's not aging. It's your mattress talking. Another great thing I love about GhostBed, you get 101 nights to try it at home. If you don't like the difference, you can send it back risk-free. GhostBed is offering my audience their lowest prices of the season, plus an extra 10% off. Go to ghostbed.com/Carson. Use promo code Carson. That's ghostbed.com/Carson. Promo code Carson. You are going to love your new GhostBed.
Mom Donnie, a socialist. Mom Donnie, a communist. He's a fan of a muss. His win will be New York's loss. He's an extremist, you bet, as New York's gonna get taxed like never before. When Mom Donnie is done, the city will run every grocery store. He'll defund the police and crime will increase as the murder rate begins to soar. Mom Donnie, anti-Jew, he despises Netanyahu. It is really a sin. New Yorkers voted him in. They'll regret that they helped him win.
You'll find Iranian people on social media telling us over and over and over again that the way Mamdani speaks in New York City is exactly the way the Ayatollah was speaking in Iran, word for word, verbatim.
So this is the promises Khomeini made back in 1979, pre-1979. Look at this. He has promised free water, free electricity, and free buses. Now, does that sound familiar? Have you heard it before? Let's say, I don't know, New York 2024 campaign?
Language, framing. It's one of the key ways Islamists gain popularity and power within elected political positions here in America.
What we should look for is a broad kind of a schema, an ideology that we call perhaps third worldism. It's a way to rearrange our view of politics around a moral binary. There's an oppressor and there's an oppressed. And it tends to be that the oppressed are the other countries in the world.
Yes.
The oppressor is the West, or above all, the United States. An example of this would be the rhetoric that we see someone like Mamdani use when he speaks in the mayoral campaign.
Tell me, why is Palestine a part of your politics?
When you grow up as someone, especially in the third world, you have a very different understanding of the Palestinian struggle.
Yeah, there you go. That's all you need to know. I said this. I said New York City is Tehran in 1979. I said the reason why Zoran Mamdani could be so pro-LGBTQIA+ and still be really popular with radical imams is because he's lying. He's lying. Nan Hayworth is the first female MD to serve a full term as a member of Congress from New York, and she's also one of my favorite guests. Nan Hayworth, how are you today?
Oh, honored to be your guest,
sir, as always.
We're just buddies, aren't we?
Yes, I am very proud to be in that position.
Well, I think you're great. I think you're great. We'll continue this slobber fest later. Let's talk about what. I mean, listen. This is obvious to me. Zohran Mamdani, dear God in heaven, he looks like one of the students in the Iranian Revolution, and he spewed the same talking points. Now we understand, I guess, that what the Ayatollah did is he lured in young, idealistic morons who've not achieved anything in their lives, promises a bunch of free crap, and then and then fed them to the Islamists as they took over Persia.
The point that your clips made at the very end about the condoning, if not the commanding, of dishonesty and deception and deceit by Islamists in pursuit of, ultimately, of the Ummah. Mm-hmm. Right? This is their worldwide caliphate.
Yes.
And if I am correct in my understanding, Mr. Mamdani is of the Twelver Shia persuasion, which is the most radical,
of course,
at its heart.
Of course.
Right? So he's wearing a suit. He's grinning. If you just meet him and you know nothing else, you would say, what a charming guy.
Yeah.
This is a persuasive and eloquent young man. Mm-hmm. However, people who know better, which unfortunately did not dominate in this last election in the city of New York, understand that the man is lying about everything.
Of course.
So we inherently we can't trust him. Now, sadly, as we all know too, Rob, that's endemic in politics. Mm-hmm. So it's sort of like, well, that's built in. But in this case, the lies are concealing not only, probably a fairly rapacious nature in terms of his own ambition,
yes,
but also a deeply devious and dangerous and insurrectionist nature in terms of his political goals.
Yeah, well, we've been talking about the third worlding of America, and the dynamic has changed from people coming here tired, hungry, poor, and building their living and creating wealth and living the American dream, to you come here from a third world hellhole, blaming America for your problem, and you want to make America owe you by paying you and destroying the culture and bringing it down to third world standards.
Precisely. This is not assimilation. My mother was an immigrant. My husband's father was an immigrant.
Yep.
They were proud to be Americans. They did not hyphenate their naturalization.
Yep.
And while they appreciated their heritage, they assimilated eagerly. They embraced the United States. Now we are experiencing the reverse. Now with Mamdani, we are experiencing conquest and even a glancing familiarity, which sadly, of course, most Americans, your audience conspicuously accepted, most Americans lack. Everywhere, the Islamists of Mamdani's persuasion have traversed in world history for millennia. They have sought conquest.
Yes.
That, he's not there to make the United States a richer but still distinctly American place.
No, not at all.
He is here to make the United States, starting with New York, revolve around the people whom he calls New Yorkers. It's like you can't just set foot in the city of New York and say, okay, now the city's mine.
Yeah.
First you say, you know what, I want to be part of New York. I want New York to become my city. Let me learn, how to be part of this. And let me not take from my neighbors, but in fact contribute to their lives.
Yeah.
Contribute what I need to, right? You see, earn your stripes, pay your dues.
Yes.
This is, of course, all part. Instead, we have this confiscatory model that says you owe us.
Of course.
Here, we are now New Yorkers, and you owe us.
Yeah.
In what sane world does that exist?
Well, it's existed time and time again throughout history, and it ultimately has resulted in hundreds of millions of people in body pits around the world. That said, his wife is a nutbag. She started, spewing terroristic nonsense as a high schooler, and she still was liking the slaughter of Israelis on October the 7th. And he says, well, she's a private citizen. Well, I hate to tell you this. He knows who she is, and he married her anyway. He married that monster because it's okay. He married that monster because they're on the same page.
Right. She is a rancid little. Sadly,
Be careful.
Her behavior is that of a rancid little resentful, American antagonist.
Typical liberal.
Typical.
Self-loathing, America-hating.
Yeah, I call none of them liberals, as you know, Rob. They're all leftists.
Yes, you're right. You're right.
And that alloy of the Marxian, the Marxist dialectic, the Marcusian dialectic, the oppressor-oppressed that now every school child in the United States has been taught, if not overtly, then subliminally. The melding of that with the irresistible drive of Islamism, of radical Islamism, to conquer, will be the death of America. Well, we can look across, in my mother's native England, we can look across the pond, right, and see what's happening there. You cannot lose your culture. It doesn't mean that we hate and despise those who practice the faith of Islam. We do not, but you have to conform to our expected.
Listen, we got to take a break. We got to take a break, Nan. As I like to say, homeboys, hillbillies, and Hebrews are going to have to come together to save America. And if that means a beatdown of radical Islam, it's going to have to happen. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. More with Nan Hayworth from New York in just 1 second. I want to talk to you about gold real quick here. I was thinking of the Washington Monument. A few years ago, I was living in Washington, D.C., and there was a minor earthquake, which caused the pots and pans in my pot rack to swing a little bit, and some minor damage. It did cause some major damage to a couple of structures here in D.C. One of them was National Cathedral. They're still working on it, the damage from 15 years ago. And the Washington Monument, I thought, when that was happening, I said, oh, my God, would it be terrifying to be at the top of the Washington Monument? Why? Because it's 460 feet high, and there's no structural steel. It's a pile of rocks glued together by mortar. That's what the Washington Monument is. And they sustained a lot of damage. And if there was a bigger quake, the Washington Monument would be a pile of rubble. If it were in California, they'd never think of building the Washington Monument. But the Washington Monument has lasted 150, 200 years, whatever, how long it was. And it's amazing that it did. But I'm going to tell you, the Washington Monument, like your retirement, like your investments, needs metal. And precious metal is got to be a part of your retirement, because there are other parts of your retirement that can collapse. There are other things that can happen in the markets. Gold is valuable, though. Silver is valuable. Silver is always going to be valuable. It's used by so much. It's in your phone. It's in your computer. It might be in your teeth. Hell, I don't know. Maybe around your neck and your ears. I don't know. Gold too, and gold has experienced a magnificent run, and right now it's a little low. It's at $4,300, almost $4,400. That's $1,200 lower than it was in January, but don't doubt me. It's going to come back. It's going to be, they're saying $5,800 by the end of the year. So maybe it's giving you a chance to buy some gold, make it a part of the structure of your retirement or whatever. And all you got to do is text my name, Rob, to 989898. Rob to 989898. It is very easy to do, and they'll just give you information. No obligation. Get the ball rolling. Get some gold in that portfolio. This is, by the way, at the Yankees San Francisco season opener.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright
I'm going to move a little bit forward here. I'm not meaning to introduce it, but it's pretty amazing.
That our flag was still there.
Oh my goodness!
Oh, say does that star-spangled.
It was absolutely marvelous. And the one thing that I've noticed, Nan Hayworth, is that tears of joy for the national anthem is back. They're back, aren't they?
Yes.
They are.
Yes. Oh, yes. And that oh, I'm sorry, Rob.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, that's a sailor.
Yeah.
That's a sailor who I think is a veteran of a few years in service.
Yep.
Who was singing.
Yeah, and you look at what our military, Nan, look what our military has done. They have the most powerful, overwhelming show of force in the history of the military. In the history of the military, they sank 150 Navy ships, made them into scuba destinations, wiped out this gigantic military of their missiles, of their ships, of their drones, of their leadership.
I know. All it took was a new president, Rob. All it took was a new president.
Yeah, and not one Democrat has said a positive about it except for John Fetterman, right?
No.
It's amazing.
No, not one. No. There are all kinds of problems with it, Rob. And, of course, the media, the hegemonic left in our media and our institutions, and I am convinced that the reason they are thus is because they are protecting enormous resources that follow the money. We know Data Republican on X, where you and I both reside part of the time.
Yes.
Data Republican, amazing woman who is a national treasure, and she is has been compiling data on all kinds of flows of monies from the funders of the left into these so-called nonprofits and non-governmental organizations.
Yes.
And one of the, George Soros' name, of course, is highly familiar, but there is another man about whom you and I have known, I'm sure, for a good number of years now, but Neville Roy Singham.
Yep.
Right, and he's based in Hong Kong. He is an American by birth and a communist by nature, and he managed to succeed in apparently tech and is devoting his life. His wife heads up Code Pink. They just visited Cuba and sent salutations from their 5-star hotel.
Yes.
I mean, how, and yet some people find this credible, but they are all protecting enormous streams of income and wealth.
Yes.
And they get away with it that way.
Well, we're going to have to run here, but I'll tell you, and I said this years ago, I said that we are going to discover that the United States is as corrupt as the former Soviet Union, but with $7 trillion per annum, and they have been raiding our... and this is why they said Elon Musk was a Nazi and burned down his dealerships. When he left Doge, they stopped burning down his dealerships, and I'm like, well, isn't he still a Nazi? I'm so done with this. Nan, I like to say we've got to overwhelm the left with joy and patriotism. I'll handle the mockery, ridicule, satire, and let Donald Trump handle the ass kicking. How does that sound to you?
Yes, exactly.
All right.
I couldn't agree more.
All right, we do. Nan, we have to be joyful warriors, but warriors nonetheless. We do, and we're going to win this. We cannot get down, because when we get down, we lose. We cannot get down. We've got to start positive, and when they decide to punch, we punch back. We punch back. Nan?
At our lowest point, we have to count our blessings as Americans and let that refresh us. Amen. And let the spirit of the founders and the framers and the resolve that the patriots who gave this nation birth, what they endured in order that we can have our freedoms.
Amen.
What we are experiencing is nothing compared to what they did.
Yep.
And nothing compared to what our ancestors did in the Civil War, World War I, and World War II, and all these conflicts. And just count our blessings. Yep. Thank God for America. Thank God for being Americans. Yep. There is no greater blessing in the secular part of our lives.
Well, we are going to win. We are going to win. We are the reaction to the action of evil that took over the world, and we're going to kick its rear end. Nan Hayworth on Twitter. Nan, thank you so much for being on the show today. I appreciate you so much.
Oh, it's an honor, Rob.
Right.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. I like Nan. I think she's cool. She's my buddy. I like her. I consider her my buddy. And I knew she was my buddy the day that I met her. I knew that she was going to be my buddy. She was going to be my friend. As a girlfriend, a friend, really cool. What we got here? What are you guys talking about over here? Jack Gree and Tom K1 and all that. And Mo M167. What's got? Hope you guys are having a good time today. We've had a hell of a show today. Do you agree? Do you not agree? I think you should. It's been pretty amazing. I'm trying to think what I should do next. I'm going to do something light. Do I have a piece of comedy from Jim Gossett? Maybe I don't need to do that. Hold on. Mondami. Jimmy Kill. Nah, I'll figure something out. Grandma'd times 59. What's up? Wow, goosebumps. Yeah, wasn't that amazing? Version of the national anthem was really cool. I don't like to, when I play the national anthem, I don't like to disrupt the national anthem, but this wasn't an official playing of the national anthem, so I didn't go ahead and just complete it. So I didn't mean to step on it, but, we should be proud of our troops. We should, because they're amazing. Are any of you guys going on the Rob trip? That's Diane Rutledge. Diane Rutledge, you should, and you all should, actually. Because it's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. What am I going to talk about here? Yankees are at the anthem. Yeah, I'll finish it. Fox Report. All right. I got to talk now. I'd love to chat with you all day. I think what we might have to do eventually is do a nighttime podcast, do it live too. Maybe once or twice a week. Would that be fun? I think it'd be fun. Digging. on the, I'm thinking it's F-16s. They're not 22s. Flying over the stadium. American pride is back. Don't let the media and the left try to convince you otherwise. I could not be more proud of our military. Not saying that my opinion means anything, but when it comes to our military, I couldn't be prouder. My God, they have done such a glorious job, and they have been asked so much to do so much for so little. Same way with our TSA agents, by the way. But what an amazing time. And you know, you've got to look past all the caterwauling and the nonsense of the left and the people who won't acknowledge that our military is so glorious and our young fighters have done such a phenomenal job in the face of everything. They did it flawlessly, beautifully. The most overwhelming show of force in world history to take down a force of evil in America that has run roughshod all over the world for 47 years. God bless our military. Thank you, thank you, thank you. God bless America. This fall, October 25th through the 29th, my trip to D.C. If you want to get on board for it, just go to travelwithrob.net. I do mean this. It's our 250th year, and there's a reason why we're all here together, and there's a reason why you should be here with me. It is October 25th through the 29th. Travelwithrob.net and a cruise and tours putting it together. 5 nights, 4 days. Hotel accommodations great. Hotel tours of all the monuments, the Capitol, the whole deal. 6 meals, guides, gratuity, the whole deal. Space limited. Travelwithrob.net. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to meet you. I cannot wait to meet you. I cannot wait to show you this place that I have called home, because I'm proud of what Donald Trump has done to this city, and you're going to be blown away because it's not been this good in decades. Travelwithrob.net. Tomorrow's Friday, baby. Have a glorious day. Make sure to check out the podcast. Go to your usual podcast platforms. Rob Carson Show. God bless you. America's founded Donald Trump. He's kicking butt and taking names. Our military, that is unbelievable. And until tomorrow, which by the grace of God is finally Friday, do not catch the stupid. I'll see you then.
All right, Rob.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.